The long-term plan is to make it one of the better and greater Formula One teams in the world.
This has been an opportunity we've all been wishing for, and it's one that we certainly don't want to miss.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
We're ready.
We're ready.
We're ready.
It's time.
We are Sport Pesa
Racing Point
F1 team.
So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, a new era, a new name, Sports Pacer Racing Point F1 team. Any good? Yeah. Okay, we like it. And to help us usher in this new era, please give a very noisy reception to the technical director and the team principal of Sport Pacer Racing Point F1 team, Andrew Green and Otmar Safner. So Otmar, you look up at the sign and our backdrop as you walk on, and you are now Sport Pacer Racing Point F1 team. How did we get to that name?
Well, it's a little bit better than last year. A little bit better than last year. The name, it took us a while. We started off with Racing Point as our company name. And we took the time from August until now to discuss and deliberate what the name should be. And we've all come to the conclusion that basically we're a team of racers, and there's nothing wrong with, and actually it encompasses who we are, Racing Point.
Yeah.
Dramatic rate, I think.
And the performance of the car, of course, also benefits by having two very, very good drivers at the helm. I think it's time to bring those drivers to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez. Good to see you. How you doing, man? For you, in terms of your move from Williams to Racing Point, how big a step forward do you see that in your career? Now you've established yourself. We can't call you a rookie anymore. You've been on the podium. You've been on the front row. And you've got
I got my first gray hair the other day. I looked in the mirror. I plucked it out, and I was, damn, it's going by too quick.
Are you ready for the step up?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a new chapter, and it's a very exciting journey that lies ahead of us. You know, words can't really describe it. It's a dream come true to be standing on this stage, you know, as a part of Sport Pesa Racing Point F1 team here in Canada, launching the car. It's amazing.
Gentlemen, to your places, please.
Yeah.
Sergio and Lance, we've got a very important job. Does anyone want to see what the new livery looks like? Yeah? Okay then, it is time to reveal the brand new livery for Sport Pacer Racing Point's F1 team for 2019. Gentlemen.
Let's just get it off already,
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sport Pacer Racing Point Formula One team livery for 2019. Come this way.
We are aiming for at least fourth this year. When you consider the level of competition that it's in the midfield with such a big teams around, big manufacturers, it's not going to be easy, but this team has done it before. I will be very pleased if we can have a couple of podiums as well. And yeah, have a great season, and why not our first victory together?
Absolutely, why not? New era, new livery, new name in Canada, the country of your birth. You're a Canadian racing driver. The team that you're going to be driving for has a Canadian shareholders amongst it, and Canada very much at the heart of this new era. How proud, and I don't know if you can put this into words or not, do you feel as a Canadian racing driver today?
It's honestly, it's undescribable. You know, you said it all. I don't really have much more to add. It's a dream come true. That's what I can say about it. You know, I rolled out of bed this morning, and it's a little jet lagged, but just the idea of that, you know, just it really, you know, it puts a smile on my face, and you know, we're doing all this talking, but I just can't wait to jump in the car and you know, get the ball rolling.
How's it going, everyone? Tyler McDonald, Chris Cato alongside me, Shaker, of course, our cameraman behind the camera, but we're here at the Racing Point F1 launch. Very excited to be bringing it to you guys to our podcast, and of course, a little different than what we're used to in a podcast setting. But Chris, just first impressions of this car, it's beautiful, and they got to keep the pink toward it, keep their branding as well. Just your thoughts on the first impression.
Yeah, overall, in terms of the way the car looks, it's similar to last year. Of course, they've kept the base pink color, but they've added the blue courtesy of the Sport Pesa, their new sponsor. So a lot of that new blue addition that you'll see, mostly at the rear of the car and on the rear wing as well, has come from that Sport Pesa sponsor. But yeah, other than that, the car looks really good. And as you can see in some of the shots, it's the 2019 front wing and the 2019 rear wing, but it is the 2018 car. The main point of the launch today was to kind of launch the new birth of Racing Point F1 here in Toronto. So they will release the full 2019 car in testing in a few weeks' time in Barcelona. But car looks fantastic. I don't know what you thought. I mean, it looks great to me.
I think it's one of the nicer cars on the grid so far this season. Of course, yeah, livery launch, and then will be technically the team launch. They put out their brand new logo, which is interesting with the racing, and then almost looks like a target symbol as their point, but a little interesting branding. But I enjoy it. It's a little different. It's something that's unique to Racing Point, and I mean, for us being Canadian as well, it's something that we can go as, you know, we can take some pride in having a Canadian driver, Canadian investors on the grid. And the one thing I found interesting though, Chris, is that they didn't call themselves a Canadian team.
Right.
It was just Canadian investors and Canadian driver, but not a Canadian team. So it'll be interesting to see what country they represent. Will it be Britain with the base being in Silverstone? That'll be interesting.
Well, I think it's going to be a similar case as it was with Sauber switching to Alfa Romeo. You know, if Alfa Romeo were to win a Grand Prix this year, they'd be playing the Swiss national anthem still, which is, of course, relating to when Sauber owned it. So I think that will be a similar case here. Of course, the main base is still in the UK in Silverstone, so it may take a couple of years. Maybe they'll open some sort of factory in Montreal, I think where the Strolls are based out of. But for now, it's sort of still a UK-based team for the most part, but with, of course, a Canadian consortium backing them financially. So it's exciting for us, definitely, and I'm excited to see what it could bring for the next couple of years.
Well, we'll have plenty more coming for you guys during this whole festivity event, and more coming tomorrow as well. So stay tuned for that. It should be a lot of fun here in Toronto at the Racing Point F1 team launch.